All right, Warriors fans, buckle up because after months of tension, speculation, and behind-the-scenes frustration, it looks like the situation with Jonathan Kaminga is finally heading toward conclusion, and not exactly the one the front office hoped for. After standing their ground all off-season, the Warriors have now re-engaged the Kings on that trade package everyone was buzzing about. Malik Monk and a protected first-round pick in the distant future, 2030 to be exact. And whether they want to admit it publicly or not, this move is a clear sign of surrender. It's Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy Jr. waving the white flag, admitting they overplayed their hand, and realizing that holding firm all summer long hasn't led them to a stronger position. It's only backed them into a corner. Now, let's be real. We all saw this coming. From the moment Kaminga's name started popping up in trade talks, it was obvious something was off behind the scenes. This wasn't just another young player looking for a bigger role. There's been a simmering tension that's hovered over the team like a cloud all summer long. And you know the players felt it too. It wasn't just media talk. This kind of thing seeps into the locker room, into training sessions, into the group chats. It weighs on a team. So for the Warriors to finally give in and return to the Kings' offer, even after acting like they were out on it, just shows how desperate they've become to clean up this situation before it gets even messier. And honestly, it's probably the right move. Because let's look at where things stood. Kaminga was coming off a pretty decent year, but let's not pretend he was playing huge minutes or delivering in crunch time. Still, with the kind of potential he has, the smart play for him would have been to lock in a deal, secure his bag, and build from there. But instead, he made it clear he was ready to bet on himself. Even if it meant skipping media day, delaying contract talks, or worse, taking the qualifying offer next summer and walking away for nothing. That's not the kind of energy you want around when you're trying to chase another championship. When a player is willing to send that kind of message, basically flipping the bird to the franchise, you got to ask yourself what kind of presence he's going to be in the locker room. Because at the end of the day, chemistry matters. Just look back at the dynastic years. 2014, 2015, 2015, 2016. Remember how those seasons started? With fire, with purpose, with unity. They ripped off win after win like they were on a mission from the jump. And that doesn't happen unless everyone is pulling in the same direction. If the Warriors want any chance of recapturing that kind of form, they can't afford to have a distraction like Kaminga hanging over their heads. Even if he somehow stayed, signed a short-term deal, and started putting up monster stats, say 25 points, 5 boards, 5 assists a night, it wouldn't mean anything if the mindset wasn't right. Those would be empty numbers, stat padding at its finest, because those buckets wouldn't come in rhythm. They wouldn't lead to wins. They'd come at the expense of Steph's touches, Jimmy's flow, and the team's overall ball movement. And that's just not what championship basketball looks like. So now we're here. The Warriors are reportedly re-engaging with the Kings, which essentially reopens that initial trade offer. Malik Monk, a bucket getter who can shoot the lights out, but doesn't quite fit the Warriors system, and a protected pick that doesn't even come into play for another 5 years. Not exactly the kind of haul you dream of for a former top pick with elite athleticism. But you know what? It's something. And in today's NBA, something beats nothing. Especially when you know you're not bringing a guy back next summer. That pick might not be great, but it's a tradable asset. And Monk, even if he doesn't stick around long-term, is exactly the type of player other teams are always looking for. An instant offense microwave off the bench with a reliable three-point shot. That's where the front office now has to pivot. If they're taking back Monk and a distant pick, the next step is obvious. Flip those pieces. You're not keeping Monk, not if he doesn't fit the motion offense or defensive schemes. You use him to go get someone who does. Same with the pick. A 2030 protected first-rounder might not sound exciting to fans, but to a rebuilding team or a squad looking to clear cap space, that's gold. Suddenly, you got a bargaining chip. You can get creative, bring in a third team, make it a multi-team deal. And let's not forget, the Warriors are still dealing with the financial pressure of staying under the first apron. That means they'll need to move someone else off the books. Maybe Moses Moody, maybe someone like Buddy Hield if things shift that way. The point is, the front office is going to have to maneuver carefully. But the pieces are there. There are plenty of teams who could use someone like Monk. Plenty of teams who have good players in the wrong situation, Guys who aren't fitting their current rosters but might thrive in a new system. So when you start thinking about possibilities, names start to pop up. The Bulls come to mind immediately. Think about the Bulls. They're quietly reshuffling. They've got players like Nikola Vucevic. Yes, not to be confused with Jokic or Jovic. I know it's confusing, and Kevin Huerter, who might not be a perfect fit in Chicago, but could easily slot into the Warriors system. Vucevic brings size, rebounding, and a little floor spacing. Huerter's got that off-ball shooting touch that fits well alongside Steph. And both contracts are reasonable enough to make the money work. The Bulls are clearly trying to build around Josh Giddey now. So someone like Monk might make more sense for them than a guy like Kobe White, who's due for a bigger payday and doesn't always translate his scoring into wins. Monk, on the other hand, could slide right in, give them spacing, and help their offense without demanding the ball. It's a more cost-effective, controllable piece that helps them maintain flexibility. And again, this is where that draft pick comes into play. If you're the Bulls or a team like the Hornets or the Suns, and you're trying to unload a contract or bring in some depth, that protected pick suddenly becomes a valuable asset. You get future value without tanking your present flexibility. And if you're the Warriors, you're not just giving up Kaminga for peanuts. You're turning it into a potential rotation player, maybe even two, who can actually help you win this season. Someone like Nick Richards could be in play. A 7-footer who can give you a presence in the paint off the bench. Maybe Royce O'Neal gets involved. Maybe someone swings a move for a Kelly Oubre Jr. return. The options open up once you've got tradable pieces on the table. And Monk plus a future pick? That's exactly the kind of package that can make a 3-team deal happen. What matters now is timing. Because Media Day is right around the corner. Monday, to be exact. And the Warriors don't want to walk into Media Day with this cloud still hanging over them. That's the real deadline. You don't want the questions. You don't want the speculation. You don't want Kaminga dodging microphones, or worse, not showing up at all. They need clarity. They need the roster set. They need to know who they've got going into the preseason, so KERR and the coaching staff can start figuring out rotations, experimenting with lineups, and building chemistry from day one. So you can bet that something's going down by Sunday. Whether it's the Kings directly or through a multi-team deal, Kaminga is almost certainly on the way out. And with that domino falling, expect a chain reaction. Free agents like DeAnthony Melton, Gary Payton II, maybe even Seth Curry or Al Horford, those names will start to fall into place. The draft picks might finally get converted to two-way deals. The back end of the roster will start to fill out. And slowly but surely, the Warriors will start to resemble a real, complete team. Not just a skeleton crew relying on Steph to play 40 minutes a night and carry everything. The question now is not if Kaminga is leaving. It's what the Warriors can realistically get back that helps them now and sets them up for the grind ahead. Whether it's Huerter, Vucevic, Nick Richards, or someone else entirely, one thing is clear. The Warriors have officially pivoted. The dream of holding on to Kaminga and developing him into a core piece might be over. But that doesn't mean they can't win this trade if they play their cards right. And as all of this unfolds, there's still this lingering sense of urgency around the franchise. Not panic, but a realization that the window is closing. Steph Curry is not getting any younger. Draymond Green has more miles on his legs than ever before. And Klay Thompson, as beloved as he is at a crossroads in his own career. This isn't the same young, hungry core that shocked the league in 2015. This is a battle-tested group that knows how to win, but also understands just how fragile the formula can be. That's why there's no time to waste. If the Warriors are going to maximize what they have left in this core, they need to enter this season with focus, depth, and most importantly, cohesion. That's where the front office has to deliver. They've already made the tough decision to move on from Kaminga. Now comes the even harder part, turning that decision into something meaningful. Not a flyer, not a maybe, not another development project. They need guys who can step in and contribute immediately. They need players who fit the Warriors system. That means high IQ, team first, versatile contributors who know how to move without the ball, defend multiple positions, and accept their roles. The dynasty was built on that kind of unselfishness. Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, David West. Even guys like Otto Porter Jr. and Gary Payton II in more recent runs played their roles to perfection. That's the model, and that's the standard any incoming player will have to meet. So while names like Malik Monk and distant draft picks don't exactly excite fans, they might be the stepping stones to something bigger. The trade market is about opportunity. A guy who doesn't fit your system could be the perfect match for someone else. The pick might seem like a throw-in now, but if another team values it differently, it could unlock a much more impactful trade. That's what this next stretch is about. Finding those angles, making those connections, and making sure that by the time opening night rolls around, the Warriors are no longer answering questions about what might happen. They need to be all in on what is happening. Meanwhile, as the front office shuffles pieces and works the phones, the players are getting ready for what is always one of the strangest and most entertaining days of the NBA calendar, Media Day. And while most teams use it as a straightforward opportunity to take photos, talk to reporters, and deliver some canned answers about off-season workouts, there's always that one wild card, Jimmy Butler. You just never know what he's going to do. In past years, he's used Media Day as his personal Halloween, showing up in full character with outrageous hairstyles and facial expressions that instantly go viral. It's become part of his brand. The hair, the stare, the antics. And even though he's now stepping into a new chapter alongside Steph Curry and the Warriors, there's a strong sense that he's not done having fun just yet. Last year, he kept it pretty tame, which felt like a letdown. But context matters. He was in the middle of some serious contract negotiations in Miami, and it made sense for him to keep things low-key. Now he's in Golden State, he's committed, and he's already started embracing the role of being Steph's right-hand man, his Robin, as he put it. And when Jimmy starts leaning into the spotlight, that's when things get interesting. The buzz right now is that he might be cooking up something big for Media Day. Maybe an Island Boy haircut, maybe a full-on return of the emo look, or maybe something even wilder, like Lionel Richie-inspired Jerry curls. Honestly, with Jimmy, there's no predicting it. But that unpredictability is part of what makes him such a magnetic presence, both on and off the court. More importantly, though, Jimmy's presence changes the tone of this team. He brings edge, toughness, and a certain no-nonsense mentality that the Warriors badly missed last year. When your star players set the tone in training camp, not just by leading drills, but by showing they're bought in emotionally, that trickles down to everyone. Younger guys fall in line. Role players find confidence. Veterans re-engage. That's what Jimmy can bring. And whether he shows up with palm trees sticking out of his head or a clean fade, his message is going to be loud and clear. This season matters, and he's ready for the ride. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The NBA world is buzzing with speculation tonight as whispers grow louder about Draymond Green's potential departure from the Golden State Warriors. Sources close to the team hint that the outspoken forward, known for his fiery defense and relentless energy, could be packing his bags and taking his talents elsewhere, with the Chicago Bulls emerging as a surprising destination. While nothing has been officially confirmed, insiders suggest that conversations behind closed doors have intensified over the past few weeks, fueling a storm of rumors that Green's era in San Francisco might be nearing its end. Fans and analysts alike are weighing the implications of such a move. Draymond Green has been a cornerstone of the Warriors dynasty, a vocal leader both on and off the court, and a three-time NBA champion. Yet, whispers indicate that friction over team dynamics and a desire for a new challenge could be pushing him toward the Windy City. The Bulls, who have been quietly building a competitive core, might see Green as the veteran presence capable of steering their young roster through the playoff grind. Imagining him locking down opposing stars in the United Center has already sparked excitement across social media, with fans speculating wildly about how he would fit alongside the team's rising stars. Meanwhile, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr has been unusually reflective in recent interviews. Though he stopped short of confirming any trades, Kerr did take a moment to address Green directly, wishing him happiness in Chicago should the rumors prove true. Draymond has given everything to this team. No matter where he goes next, I hope he finds fulfillment and joy, KERR said, a statement that some interpret as a subtle farewell. The tone was bittersweet, highlighting the complex relationship between coach and player that has defined so many of Golden State's championship runs. As the rumor mill churns, NBA fans are left to imagine the possibilities. Will Draymond Green indeed trade the Bay Area for the bright lights of Chicago? Could this be the start of a new chapter in both the Warriors and Bulls stories? For now, it's all speculation, a tantalizing glimpse into the ever-shifting landscape of the league. One thing is certain: wherever Green lands, the conversation and controversy is guaranteed to follow. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.